Have you ever wondered why some people seem to age faster than others, even when they live similar lives? What if the little routines you think are harmless are actually speeding up the aging process, silently draining your energy and vitality? And here's the most surprising part. These 5 common habits might be doing more harm than you realize. As we grow older, many of us fall into familiar patterns, following unspoken rules about how to live, move, and care for ourselves. Yet, some of these habits are quietly holding us back from the vibrant, fulfilling life we truly deserve. In this video, we'll uncover 5 everyday behaviors that could be accelerating the aging process, and, more importantly, how to break free from them to reclaim your strength, independence, and joy. These practical changes could be the key not just to living longer, but to living better, with energy, clarity, and confidence. Let's begin with the first one, skipping physical activity. It's astonishingly easy to convince ourselves to skip exercise, isn't it? Life always provides excuses. Exhaustion from a long day, lingering aches and pains, or the endless list of responsibilities that seem to grow with age. Life often makes us feel like there's never a spare moment to breathe, let alone move. I understand that completely. I've been there myself, staring at my walking shoes by the door, feeling the pull of the couch, telling myself I deserve to rest today and I'll get back to it tomorrow. It feels harmless in the moment, doesn't it? Just one skipped walk, one missed stretch, one day off. But here's the truth we rarely want to face. Each time we give in to that temptation, we're not just pausing. We're slowly letting our bodies decline. Our muscles weaken, our flexibility fades, and our precious balance begins to waver. These small, silent losses add up over time, and before we realize it, they can reshape the way we move and live. Imagine this. Every time we choose stillness over motion, our strength slips a little, our joints stiffen slightly, and our coordination diminishes bit by bit. Eventually, those little choices can lead to bigger consequences, like unexpected falls that change everything. A broken hip, a fractured wrist, or months spent recovering. These are not just statistics. They're stories lived by too many. And beyond the physical pain, there's the emotional toll, the quiet loss of confidence, the lingering fear that our bodies may no longer support us the way they once did. When we stop trusting our bodies to move freely, it starts a quiet domino effect, one that often begins with something as small as skipping a simple 10-minute walk. I'm not sharing this to scare you or make you feel guilty, but to remind you of how essential movement truly is. It's not about chasing youth or perfection. It's about preserving your independence, resilience, and peace of mind as you navigate life's ups and downs. You don't need to be an athlete or push through exhausting workouts. What really matters is consistency. Gentle, steady movement, just a few minutes each day, can make a world of difference. 10 minutes of stretching in the morning or a calm stroll after dinner might not seem like much, but it's your way of telling your body, I'm still here for you. In return, your body responds with strength, energy, and balance. I've seen this truth unfold countless times, in my patients, in loved ones, and even in myself. Each small step adds up, building something extraordinary over time. Every walk not only strengthens your legs, but also your heart, your mood, and your spirit. It's a ripple effect. Better circulation, a healthier heart, and that natural lift in energy that makes you feel more alive. It's like giving yourself a daily gift of renewal, one that gently reminds you, your body still has so much life to give. The best part about movement is its simplicity. You don't need expensive equipment, a gym membership, or hours of free time, just the willingness to move. One of the greatest joys of aging, in my experience, is maintaining that sense of independence. Standing up from a chair with ease, walking to the mailbox without hesitation, or moving through the day without worrying if your body will fail you. Physical activity isn't only about avoiding the negatives like frailty or falls. It's about celebrating the positives, feeling strong, capable, and in control of your own story. It's about rejecting the idea that aging means slowing down or fading away. Movement is your quiet rebellion against that belief, a way of declaring that you're still here, still thriving, still you. So, I'm encouraging you, gently but sincerely, to take that 10-minute walk today. Don't treat it like a chore or another box to check off your list. Think of it as a promise to yourself, a small act of respect for your body, your strength, and your future. Start small if you must. Maybe it's a loop around your yard or a few steps down the hallway. Over time, those minutes add up, and you'll begin to feel it. A lighter mood, more energy, and a quiet confidence knowing you're honoring the body that has carried you through life. Your body is your lifelong companion, the one constant through every triumph and trial. Caring for it isn't just an obligation. It's a privilege, a daily gift that keeps giving back in ways you'll feel for years to come. As the years go by, it's surprisingly easy to drift away from the people around us. It happens so gradually that we often don't notice it until the silence feels heavier than we remember. Maybe it starts with skipping a coffee date because you're too tired, or passing on a family gathering because you feel self-conscious about how you look or sound these days. Perhaps you've told yourself that your stories are outdated, or that you simply don't have much to share anymore. I've seen this happen many times. People who once brought energy to every room, who were the center of laughter and connection, slowly pulling back. They begin to retreat into solitude, convincing themselves that their social circle has moved on, or that they no longer fit in. And I understand that pull. There's a certain comfort in being alone, in closing the door and telling yourself you're fine. But here's what I've learned, both personally and through years of caring for others. Stepping away from social interaction doesn't just make life quieter, it makes it smaller. It chips away at your health, your happiness, and your very sense of identity. It's not only about missing shared laughter or heartfelt conversation, though those moments matter deeply. The real danger is how isolation slowly weakens the mind, the spirit, and even the body, leaving behind a shadow of the vibrant person you once were. Social connection isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline, deeply woven into both our mental and physical well-being. When we allow it to fade, we don't just feel lonely, we open the door to health challenges we never saw coming. The science is clear and sobering. Chronic loneliness doesn't only weigh on the heart emotionally, it affects the body too. It's linked to higher risks of depression, anxiety, heart disease, and even dementia. In fact, studies show that prolonged isolation can be as damaging as smoking or an unhealthy diet. I've witnessed this more times than I'd like to admit. People who were once full of life, slowly dimming, not because of age or illness, but because they stopped reaching out. They stopped letting others in. It's heartbreaking to watch someone's spark fade simply from a lack of connection. And I understand how easy it is to slip into that pattern. Solitude feels safe. No judgment, no awkward moments, no need to explain yourself. But that safety carries a heavy price. When we isolate, we don't just lose contact with others. We lose touch with ourselves, the part that feels alive, seen, and valued. Without connection, our thoughts can turn inward, looping into quiet doubts. Nobody cares. I'm not needed anymore. What's the point? These whispers grow louder over time, slowly eroding the joy and purpose that make life worth living. Those quiet lies we tell ourselves, I'm fine on my own, it's too late to reconnect, can be insidious. They build walls that keep out the very thing we crave most, belonging. And the longer we hide behind those walls, the harder it feels to step back out. But here's the truth. There's always a way back. It's never too late to reach out, to rebuild, to reconnect. You don't need to become a social butterfly or fill your calendar with endless commitments. That's not the goal. It's about small, meaningful steps, tiny acts of courage that can gently reopen your world. It could be a short chat with your neighbor over the fence, a text to an old friend just to say hello, a visit to your local library group, or a simple call to a family member you've been meaning to check on. These moments don't require much effort, just the willingness to open the door a little and let someone in. And time and again, I've seen how those small steps grow. Like seeds planted in rich soil, they blossom into deep connections that bring warmth, laughter, and purpose back into life. I've watched people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s form new friendships, rekindle old ones, and rediscover the joy of genuine connection. A shared smile, a story over tea, or a moment of understanding without words. These moments aren't just pleasant, they're powerful. They sharpen the mind, lift the heart, and remind us that we still matter, that we're still part of something larger than ourselves. I've felt it too. The way a real conversation can clear the fog in your mind, or how a friend's laughter can make you feel whole again. That's why we need connection. It's not just for company. It's medicine for the soul. Silence isn't meant to isolate us. It's meant to remind us of our worth, our humanity, and our place in this messy, beautiful world. So if you've been pulling away, if you've let isolation quietly settle into your days, I urge you, gently but sincerely, to reach out. Start small. Call someone you miss. Wave to a neighbor. Join a local group or class. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but you're not alone in that hesitation. What matters is taking that first step, because every step toward connection is a step toward healing, a chance to rediscover the simple joy of being seen, heard, and valued. This isn't just about avoiding loneliness. It's about reclaiming your vitality, your purpose, and your right to a full, rich life. We're wired for connection, for love, laughter, and moments that remind us why we're here. Don't let those moments slip away. Embrace them, and watch how they renew your spirit, one small, courageous step at a time. As we move forward, let's talk about another silent culprit that speeds up aging more than most people realize: neglecting sleep. Over the years, many older adults find that sleep becomes elusive, slipping away like fine grains of sand through an hourglass. What once came naturally now feels like a nightly struggle. Hours spent tossing, turning, and chasing rest that never seems to come. For many, it's accepted as an unavoidable part of aging, something we simply learn to live with. But here's the truth. Poor sleep isn't an inevitable side effect of getting older. It's not a condition we should shrug off or simply endure. In fact, neglecting sleep hygiene sets off a chain reaction that affects nearly every part of our health, from our memory and mood to our heart and immune system. The effects of poor sleep ripple through every part of our lives: our physical health, mental clarity, and emotional resilience. The consequences are serious. Without consistent restorative rest, both the body and mind begin to pay the price. Memory weakens, focus fades, and the immune system falters, leaving us more vulnerable to illness. Over time, chronic conditions like heart disease, diabetes, and depression become more likely, growing quietly in the background with each restless night. It's a sobering truth. Something as natural as sleep, which once came effortlessly in our youth, can turn into a nightly struggle as we age. But this isn't a battle we have to lose. In fact, it's a call to action. Sleep hygiene must be treated as essential, not optional. Establishing a disciplined, nurturing bedtime routine isn't just a tip. It's a cornerstone of aging well and living vibrantly. Think about it. Reclaiming your sleep starts by giving it the respect it deserves. Setting a consistent bedtime, much like we did as children, helps reestablish a rhythm your body instinctively craves. A quiet signal that the day is ending and rest is near. A soothing pre-sleep ritual can transform your nights. Picture yourself sipping a warm cup of chamomile tea, the gentle aroma calming your senses. Maybe you settle into a cozy chair with a book, letting your mind unwind, or spend a few minutes stretching softly, feeling tension melt away. These aren't just pleasant habits. They're a language your body understands. They tell your mind, it's time to rest, creating space for deep, healing sleep to do its work. It's not enough to simply wind down at night. We have to protect our rest from the habits that quietly steal it away. That means no caffeine lingering in our system after sunset, no heavy dinners weighing us down, and perhaps most importantly, no glowing screens filling our eyes with artificial light. The truth is, blue light from phones, tablets, and computers tricks our brains into thinking it's still daytime, keeping us wired and alert when we should be drifting into rest. Quality sleep isn't a luxury to enjoy when convenient. It's a non-negotiable pillar of health. It restores our minds, regulates our emotions, repairs our bodies, and fuels the energy we need to embrace each new day. Over the years, I've realized that sleep is one of the simplest yet most powerful tools for healing. Yet it's often the first thing we sacrifice, pushing bedtime later, scrolling endlessly, or lying awake with worry. But that sacrifice comes at a heavy price. It's time for a mindset shift. Let's honor sleep for what it truly is, a sacred, restorative ritual that keeps us thriving, rather than merely surviving. Because when we give our bodies the rest they deserve, everything else begins to fall into balance. Now, let's talk about another silent threat to healthy aging: neglecting your brain. It's one of the most insidious habits, often creeping in unnoticed. Our brains, much like our muscles, need regular exercise to stay sharp and resilient. When we stop challenging them, they begin to weaken, not suddenly, but slowly and subtly, dulling the clarity and vitality we once took for granted. It's far too easy to fall into passive routines. Hours in front of the television, mindlessly scrolling through social media, letting our thoughts drift on autopilot. Over time, these habits don't just steal our time. They steal our edge, our curiosity, and the mental agility that keeps life vibrant and meaningful. These habits may feel comfortable, even harmless in the moment, but over time, they quietly erode our mental sharpness, dimming the clarity that guides us through life. The loss can be profound if you stop to think about it. Each moment of mental fog, every forgotten name, every missed opportunity to connect with the world, it's like watching the light within us slowly fade. But here's the hopeful truth: we are far from powerless. The brain is astonishingly adaptable, eager to grow, learn, and evolve no matter how many candles are on our birthday cake. The key to preserving and even strengthening our cognitive resilience lies in one simple choice: to stay engaged with the world around us. When we stimulate our minds, we keep them vibrant and strong. It doesn't require grand gestures. It begins with small, consistent steps. Learn something new. Pick up a guitar, try knitting, or explore a topic that sparks your curiosity. Each new skill you practice lights up neural pathways, infusing energy into your brain. And don't stop there. Push your limits with activities that challenge you. A tough crossword, a game of chess, or the excitement of learning a new language. These aren't just hobbies. They're powerful investments in your cognitive health. A well-exercised brain isn't simply about remembering facts or names. It's about maintaining the agility to adapt, the clarity to make sound decisions, and the vitality to experience life with purpose and joy. We all deserve a mind that serves us well, a brain that stays sharp, clear, and reliable no matter our age. So why let it fade into idleness? The choices we make today shape the mental landscape of tomorrow. Keep your brain active, stretch its limits, and it will reward you with clarity, resilience, and a richness of thought that no amount of time can diminish. But neglect it, and you risk losing something truly irreplaceable. Now let's talk about another silent habit that can age us faster than we realize: dwelling on regret. Looking back is part of being human. Our past holds lessons, victories, and mistakes, all woven together into the fabric of who we are. Reflection helps us grow, but there's a fine line between learning and living in the past. When reflection turns into a loop of what-ifs and if-onlys, it traps us in a cycle that drains our spirit. If you find yourself replaying old mistakes, mourning lost chances, or wondering about paths you didn't take, It's time to let go. I know how difficult that can be. I've been there myself. But holding on to regret doesn't change what's gone. It only steals your peace in the present. Each time you revisit those old scenes, you give them power, allowing them to tighten their grip. Regret often lingers beneath the surface, subtly influencing both our emotional state and physical health. It can manifest as persistent feelings of guilt, sadness, or even tension in the body. Forgiveness, particularly self-forgiveness, plays a crucial role in breaking free from the hold of regret. This process is rarely instantaneous. It unfolds gradually as we learn to accept our past choices and show compassion toward ourselves. By making peace with who we are and what we've experienced, we create space for healing and growth. Ultimately, letting go of regret allows us to embrace the present more fully, opening the door to a richer and more authentic life. As we grow older, certain habits can quietly undermine our health and happiness. These might include neglecting physical activity, resisting new experiences, or holding on to negative self-talk. By recognizing these patterns, we open the door to positive change. Simple strategies, such as setting realistic goals, practicing gratitude, and nurturing social connections, can transform these habits into powerful assets. Take a moment to reflect on which lesson speaks to you most. Even a single intentional change can make a meaningful difference in your well-being. Embracing aging with wisdom and compassion allows us to live more fully and joyfully in our golden years.